I was halfway through cutting my steak when my sister smiled across the table and said, "Your turn to give back, sis." The waiter set down the check, $3,270, and everyone laughed like it was charity work. That night at Langley's under chandeliers, worth more than my car, I realized family could bankrupt you in more ways than one. But I also learned something else: debt cuts both ways. What happens when the quiet one stops paying? Like, share, comment, and subscribe to us. We always appreciate the time you have with us. The revolving door at Langley's pushed out a blast of cold air that clung to my skin like frost. Inside the restaurant shimmered steel glass and candlelight reflections pooling on polished tables. You could smell money here disguised as truffle oil and aged steak. Waiters moved like clockwork in black vests, murmuring over white napkins folded into perfect triangles. My sister Ronnie had chosen the place for her husband's birthday, but it wasn't really about him. It was about showing that the Grants could still dine where CEOs and senators booked months in advance. Over here, Tess Ronnie's voice rang out from a corner booth with a view of Elliott Bay. The skyline gleamed behind her, each building throwing its reflection into the dark water like a signature. She looked perfect hair, sleek diamonds, subtle but deliberate. I'd spent an hour deciding between two affordable dresses, both off-rack, both whispering that I didn't belong. As I crossed the floor, I caught my reflection in the mirrored wall: simple black dress, neutral makeup flats. Next to Ronnie's couture shimmer, I looked like the before picture in a makeover ad. She stood to kiss the air beside my cheek, her perfume clouding the air between us. "Tessa, you made it," she said, smiling too wide. "Traffic, okay? Or did your Uber app finally accept expired cards?" Laughter rippled around the table. Kyle. My brother leaned back in his chair, perfect posture, perfect suit, the smug ease of someone who never had to check his balance. "Hi, Ronnie," I said, pretending her words were harmless. "Happy birthday, Derek." Her husband barely looked up from the wine list. My parents were already mid-story, my father recounting how he mentored his newest junior associate, a kid barely younger than me. "You have to teach these Gen Zs what discipline means," he said, raising his glass toward Kyle. "Some people just think success should be handed to them." My mother chimed in, all pearls, and practiced warmth. "We gave our kids everything, and look at them now. Hard work pays off." She didn't glance my way once. I smiled, careful and small. Speaking of work, I said I landed a new client this week, Evergreen Grocers. They want a full brand redesign. It's my first regional chain. "That's nice, dear," my mother interrupted before my sentence even settled. "Kyle just got his year-end bonus." "Tell them, honey." Kyle straightened, always ready for applause. 85,000 before taxes, he said, shrugging modestly like it barely mattered. "Perks of finance." 85, Ronnie exclaimed. "That's more than Tessa's business brings in all year, right?" The laughter came again, small, sharp bursts that bounced off glass and silver. I stared down at my water glass, condensation dripping onto the white linen, a perfect ring forming like a stain that wouldn't fade. Eleanor sat at the far end, hands folded neatly over her cane. Her silver hair caught the light haloing her lined face. When she met my eyes, she didn't smile, but something in her gaze softened, like she was sorry for being here too. Eleanor Brooks. My grandmother, my mother's mother, the only one who'd ever seen me. The waiter arrived with wine, a Bordeaux Ronnie had ordered, without checking the price. The menu itself was heavier than some of my client portfolios. They picked their entrees without glancing: lobster, Wagyu oysters by the dozen. When the server reached me, I ordered the cheapest steak, medium, no sides. "Still budgeting," Ronnie teased. "You should treat yourself once in a while. You're not in college anymore." "I like steak," I said. "Of course you do." She turned away before I could explain what I meant. The room buzzed around me, forks scraping, laughter flaring. Conversations drifted over my head like smoke. Tuscany trips, stock gains, a ski chalet in Aspen. Whenever I tried to join in, the topic pivoted. My accomplishments existed only as polite pauses between theirs. When dessert came, I'd gone quiet. It wasn't new, this invisibility. I'd lived with it since I was 6, since they'd rescued me from a life they liked to imagine was worse. Charity turned into leverage. Gratitude became a leash. Every comment tonight tugged at that leash until it choked. Ronnie was recounting how she manifested her new house when the waiter approached, leather folder in hand. He smiled politely, scanning the table before setting it in front of me. My stomach dropped. "What's this?" I asked, staring at the check like it might vanish if I blinked fast enough. Ronnie sipped her wine, eyes glinting. "Oh, didn't we tell you you're covering dinner tonight?" I laughed once too loud, waiting for the punchline. "You're kidding." "Come on," she said sweetly. "It's your turn to give back, sis. You're always talking about being an independent business owner. Show us." My mother's hand fluttered dismissively. "It's just dinner, Tessa. Consider it symbolic." "You know gratitude for all we've done," Kyle added. "We raised you, fed you. You can handle one night." I looked from face to face, heat rising behind my eyes. They weren't joking. My father's gaze was expectant, my mother's indulgent. Ronnie looked smug, victorious. Across the table, Eleanor's jaw tightened, her eyes narrowing. I saw it, the flicker of something old and dangerous behind her calm expression. The waiter hovered. "Will this be on one card?" Ronnie smiled. "Yes." "Hers." The word landed like a slap. I reached for the check, though my hand trembled. The leather cover was cool heavy. Inside numbers that made my vision blur. $3,270. They'd ordered the most expensive things on the menu. Bottles of wine older than me. Lobster tails, steak flights. Kyle had ordered 2 desserts for the table that nobody touched. My father leaned back. "A family like ours can't be stingy about generosity. You'll thank us for teaching you responsibility." Eleanor's voice cut through the hum of the restaurant, low but commanding. "That's enough." My mother rolled her eyes. "Mother, please. We're just playing." Eleanor didn't look at her. Her eyes stayed on me. "Tessa, don't." But I already had. I slid my card onto the tray and handed it to the waiter, my smile so tight it hurt. My chest burned with shame, but I swallowed it like always. The waiter nodded and walked away. Ronnie laughed softly. "Don't pout. It's tradition now. Next month, maybe Kyle can cover it if you can't keep up." Next month. Like this humiliation was something recurring, a standing appointment. I lifted my glass, the ice melted to water. "To family," I said, because silence felt worse. Glasses clinked. My parents smiled. The waiter returned with the receipt. And as I signed my name on the $3,270 bill, Ronnie leaned across the table, that same bright smile plastered on her lips. "Your turn to give back, sis." The leather folio sits between my hands like a dare. I already know what's inside. The numbers hum in my bones. Ronnie tilts her head the way a cat studies a trapped bird. "Family pays for family," she says, as if it's scripture and I'm the heretic. A few diners glance over. The room goes museum quiet, soft shoes, hushed voices, the clink of crystal that sounds suddenly accusatory. I open the folio. The total stares back, $3,270 plus gratuity. That better be generous, because the server has endured all of us. "It's not complicated," my mother Marjorie says, fingers ticking like a metronome. "A roof for 18 years. Food, clothes, rides to school. We gave and gave, Tessa. It's time you give back." She recites it like a ledger. Rent, heat, orthodontics. She never approved the carpool she claims I monopolized, the time she dropped everything to watch me during a science fair, when really she spent the day on her phone. Each item lands like an invoice stamped past due. "Mom," I say carefully, "I worked after school. Remember the smoothie shop, the dog walking that summer at the copy center? And we let you keep your tips," she answers brightly. "See, family is generous." Kyle chuckles, turning his water glass by the stem. "We're just asking you to be part of the team. My father clears his throat as though announcing a merger. This is how families function. Reciprocity. You're nearly 30. I build my own ledger in my head, numbers flipping like a train schedule, the yellow sweater that used to be Ronnie's itchy at the neck. The homecoming dress I hemmed myself and pretended was a choice. Community college loans still nibbling at my checking account. The field trip to the aquarium I couldn't afford because the extra fund was empty again. The numbers never added up. I lift my pen. The weight of it feels theatrical, like I'm signing for a delivery that isn't mine. I could refuse. I could stand, let the chair legs screech, and walk out into the clean night air where money can't follow. But I know how that ends. Ungrateful. Dramatic. After everything we did. Walking out becomes Exhibit A in a story they're itching to tell. So I don't give it to them. I write my name. My hand leaves a damp half-moon on the paper where my palm rested. Across the table, Eleanor watches without blinking. The softness in her eyes has hardened to something mineral old as river rock. It's in the set of her jaw, the line of her shoulders. Granite, I think. The server returns. I slide the folder toward him, make sure the tip will cover the night's indignities as best as money ever can. He nods a quick flicker of sympathy he can't afford to show. Ronnie exhales like she's just completed a Pilates set. See? That wasn't so hard. She dabs the corner of her mouth with linen. Also Tuscany in June, it's adults only. Her grin shines. Meaning actual adults. The cut is so clean I don't feel it for a breath. Then blood rushes warm and humiliating. Adults only, my mother repeats, pleased. A chance for grown-up conversations. We'll send pictures, Kyle adds, faux kind. Of the vineyards. I imagine the photos already. Ronnie's hand on a glass of Brunello. A sun-bleached villa, captions about dolce vita and family, the kind of curated proof that belonging can be bought in 4K. I take a sip of melted ice. It tastes like a dare. Derek checks his watch, bored now that the spectacle has ended. My father signals for his coat. Chairs scrape the room's polite noise swelling back to its normal tide. I reach for my clutch and feel the old reflex coil inside me say nothing. Smooth it over. Be the easy one. The leash called gratitude tightens and I catch myself nodding, smiling, rehearsing thank yous for a dinner I paid for. Ronnie rises first. Great night, everyone. She chirps, already angling her body toward a table of men she wants to be seen by. Tess, maybe next time we'll let you pick a place you can afford. Laughter again. The world narrows to a tunnel of glass and breath and heat, the chandelier light too bright, the floor too steady under my shoes. I tuck the receipt into my bag like evidence. I don't know what for yet, just that it matters. Eleanor stands last, slow and deliberate, her cane a punctuation mark. She's not out of breath, but there's the tiniest tremor in her hand I haven't seen before. I move toward her instinct more than plan, and she gives me that almost smile that has kept me afloat more times than I can count. Then Ronnie tosses the line over her shoulder, like confetti. Don't wait up for details, Tess. Adults only is adults only. The words ring in my ears, absurd and childish, and yet they carry the weight of a verdict. A life on the outside of glass, always looking in. We begin to turn toward the aisle. A couple at the window pretends not to stare. A man at the bar lowers his phone the way people do when they've been recording and feel suddenly seen. I think about tips and groceries, about rent due on the first, about my client kickoff meeting at 9 a.m., where I will pour myself into someone else's vision and make it look effortless. I think about the invoice I will send in 30 days and how it will be paid in 60 if I'm lucky. Great night, Kyle says again, stretching like he earned it. Team effort. My mouth tastes like copper. I swallow it. I can make it to the door. I can make it to the sidewalk, to the breath of salt air, to the part of my life where I have a key and a lock, and nobody's permission but my own. I step back to let my parents pass. The table is almost empty now. Crumbs a lipstick print on a glass, the heavy silence of the after. The server appears with to-go boxes Ronnie requested for food she didn't touch. She hands them off like trophies. We pivot as a group choreography polished by years of practice. They lead, I follow. Eleanor doesn't move. Her voice arrives first clean and cold as a bell. Sit. It cracks across the dining room. People turn. Chairs pause mid-scrape. My family freezes like a tableau from a play about good manners gone wrong. One table over a woman's phone is already angled in our direction. 2 tables back, a man in a blazer hits record without shame. Everyone sits, except the cameras. They're already rolling. Eleanor's voice slices through the clatter of silverware and the low buzz of conversation. Sit. The word lands with the weight of a gavel. Even the waiter halfway to the kitchen stops mid-step. My family hesitates, unsure if this is another of her sharp reminders about posture or manners. Then she taps her cane once against the tile, and every Grant sits. Every Grant but me. I hover uncertain, the air thick enough to drink. Eleanor doesn't look at me, yet her eyes are fixed on them. I'm 78, she begins, her voice calm but resonant, trained by years of boardrooms and press conferences. Which means I've had nearly 8 decades to learn how people behave when they think no one's watching. Her gaze drifts over the table, my father shifting in his chair. Marjorie's hands clasped theatrically near her pearls, Ronnie already rolling her eyes. And tonight, Eleanor continues, "You've proven what I've long suspected." "Oh, Mother," Marjorie says, brittle and bright. "Please, don't make a scene. It was just a joke." Eleanor's head tilts slowly. A joke. She tastes the word, then spits it out like it's spoiled. A joke is something that brings people together, Marjorie, not something that reminds one of them she doesn't belong. Ronnie crosses her legs, bored. "We tease because we love Grandma." "You're overreacting." Eleanor's cane hits the floor again, harder this time. The sound echoes. "No, Veronica, you mock because cruelty is easier than self-reflection. You've all learned to use charity as control, to give only what can be held over someone's head later." Her eyes move to each of them in turn. "You call it generosity, I call it leverage." The room holds its breath. Nearby diners pretend to look at their menus, but everyone's listening now. My father clears his throat. "Mother, with all due respect, you're tired. Let's not—" "Don't interrupt me, Paul." Her tone snaps him shut like a trap. "You've enabled this for years, allowed your wife and children to scapegoat the one person in this family who never asked for anything but decency." I can feel every set of eyes in the restaurant turning toward us. My hands start to shake. I want to shrink, to disappear. But Eleanor's voice keeps me upright. "I have spent months thinking about legacy," she says, softer now, but somehow sharper, "about where my money goes when I'm gone." That gets their attention. Kyle's head lifts. Ronnie leans forward. My mother straightens like she's bracing for applause. "The current will," Eleanor continues, "divides the estate among Marjorie and her children." She lets that hang for a beat before adding, "That arrangement no longer stands." "Excuse me," my mother blurts. Eleanor opens her bag and draws out an envelope sealed with the stamp of her law firm. As of yesterday, a new will has been executed and notarized. Ronnie's laugh comes out too high. "What, you rewrote your will because of a dinner joke?" "No," Eleanor says, her tone almost kind. "Because of 22 years of them." Kyle leans forward, his banker's voice low and urgent. "Grandma, you can't make major financial changes under duress." This is clearly undue influence, she finishes for him. "I assure you, Kyle, no one influences me. Not my board, not my doctors, and certainly not you." She pulls her phone from her purse and sets it on the table. "If you doubt my clarity, you can ask my attorney yourself." Marjorie's color drains. "Mother, please, don't do something you'll regret." "I don't regret," Eleanor says. "I correct." She taps a contact on her phone. It rings once before a crisp voice answers. "Thomas, it's Eleanor Brooks," she says, her tone all business. "File the documents we discussed, effective immediately." "Yes, ma'am?" Comes the reply, faint but unmistakable. She ends the call and sets the phone down beside her glass of water. "That was my attorney confirming the new will is now official. The entire estate property's holdings the company passes to Tessa." The table erupts. Ronnie half rises, voice cracking. That's insane. You can't just give everything to her. Kyle's jaw tightens. This is manipulation. She's exploiting your age. Marjorie covers her mouth, then drops the act to hiss. Blood is blood, Mother. You can't cut out your own children for... Eleanor slams her cane down again. The sound ricochets through the dining room, scattering their words like startled birds. Enough. You've had your say for 22 years. Now it's my turn. She looks at each of them. Her daughter, son-in-law, grandchildren, like she's cataloging strangers. You had a choice. You could have treated Tessa with respect, with love, with the same dignity you give to your dinner reservations and your neighbors' opinions. Instead, you made her your punchline. The silence afterward is so deep it hums. Eleanor's breathing shifts, a faint tremor threading her words. She grips the table for a moment, steadying herself. Then she says quietly, I'm dying. The word detonates softer than an explosion, but louder than any of their protests. Marjorie shakes her head, confused. What do you mean, dying? Stage 4 pancreatic cancer, Eleanor replies. 6 months, maybe less. I found out in July. She looks at me finally. I wasn't going to say anything until tonight forced my hand. Ronnie sinks back into her seat. My father mutters something about getting her water. Kyle stares at the wall like it might offer a better reality. Eleanor keeps going steady. When you have months left, clarity comes easy. I built Brooks Construction from a borrowed truck and a notebook. I know the difference between those who build and those who feed on what others build. Tessa builds. The rest of you consume. Marjorie whispers, Mother, you're confused. Eleanor's hand cuts the air. Confused, I am the only one at this table who sees clearly. I will not let my legacy, my name fund your entitlement another day. Tears sting my eyes. Grandma? I didn't ask for. I know, she says gently. That's why you deserve it. Ronnie pounds a fist on the table. You can't be serious. I've never been more serious, Eleanor replies. The decision's made, the documents are filed. Someone at a nearby table gasps. Another diner claps a hand over their mouth. The entire restaurant is watching now. Phones lifted, screens glowing. The Grant family live and unraveling. Eleanor exhales slowly, her face suddenly pale, but her voice doesn't waver. Justice isn't about blood. It's about balance. My mother sobs quietly into her napkin. My father stares at his reflection in the window hollow. Ronnie glares. Daggers, Kyle whispers about lawyers. None of it matters. The shift has already happened. Eleanor reaches for her glass, takes a measured sip, and leans toward me. Her voice drops to a whisper, meant for me alone. There's something else you need to see, she says, her eyes steady on mine. It explains everything they ever called sacrifice. Dawn over Lake Washington paints the world in copper and gray. From Eleanor's study, I can see the water shifting under the first ferry of the morning, a white scar across the bay. The air smells like cedar and ink. I've been awake all night replaying the dinner, the check, her announcement, the way Ronnie's voice cracked when she realized she'd lost something she thought she owned. But nothing prepares me for what's waiting on Eleanor's desk. She gestures toward a neat stack of files bound in a crimson ribbon. Go on, she says softly. Open it. Inside, copies of adoption papers, yellowed with time account statements, notarized letters. My name, Tessa Marlowe Grant, typed over and over. What is this? I ask, though I already feel the cold coil of dread in my stomach. Eleanor rests her hand on the top sheet, her veins delicate blue under translucent skin. Your birth parents. Adam and Elise Marlowe were killed in a car accident when you were 6. They'd established a trust to ensure you'd be cared for, $600,000 dispersed to your adoptive family for your upbringing. $600,000, I repeat the words dry as paper. She nods. The money was meant for your education, healthcare, stability. It should have followed you to adulthood. I flip through the bank ledger's handwritten notations by my mother's meticulous cursive. The deposits, the withdrawals, the dates, Luxury resorts, home remodels, private school tuition for Ronnie, a college fund for Kyle, new cars. One line item stands out: Mercedes-Benz E-Class 2008 paid in full. There's nothing for me. No tuition payments, no medical bills, no trace of what that money was intended for. My hands shake as I turn the pages faster, each one a record of theft masquerading as parenting. They spent it all, I whisper. Every cent. Not just spent, Eleanor says, converted it into status, into the illusion of superiority. A door opens behind me and a woman in a charcoal suit enters carrying a thin laptop case. Tessa. This is my attorney, Maya O'Rourke, Eleanor says. She's been helping me trace the funds. Maya's handshake is firm, her tone clipped and professional. We've confirmed the full amount was transferred to the grants within a month of your adoption. The trust was closed prematurely under false documentation. I blink, uncomprehending. False documentation. Signatures that don't match, she explains. Approvals that were never filed with the probate court. If we pursue civil recovery with accrued interest and inflation adjustments, you're looking at roughly $1.9 million, possibly more if we include penalties. There is also the matter of criminal misappropriation, though that would be up to the district attorney. Eleanor leans back, her eyes glinting. I told you last night, justice, not revenge. My throat burns. I think of my childhood, the summer I wanted swimming lessons, but was told we couldn't afford it, though Kyle got a new car that same month. The trip to Hawaii they took without me because it's better for you to stay focused on school. A flash of memory hits so hard it steals my breath. I'm 12 again, standing on the edge of the Grants pool during one of Ronnie's parties. I'm wearing a hand-me-down one-piece that doesn't fit, clutching a towel. Ronnie's friends chant, jump, 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 their laughter sharp as glass. When I hesitate, Kyle shoves me. I remember the shock of chlorine up my nose, lungs burning, the muffled roar of laughter above water. I hadn't learned to swim yet. I came up choking while Ronnie giggled into her drink. My parents didn't stop them. They told me to lighten up. Now in the quiet of Eleanor's study, I can still taste that chlorine, the chemical bitterness of humiliation and survival. They used my parents' money to do that, I murmur. To raise me like a prop and call it generosity. Maya closes the folder gently. You have options. We can file for restitution immediately. The documentation is airtight. What happens to them, I ask? If the DA takes the case, it's felony theft from a minor's trust. Possible prison time. At minimum, asset seizure. I stare out the window at the water shifting from gray to blue. The first sunlight touches the glass of downtown Seattle, gilding the skyline. It's beautiful and brutal at once, the kind of view people pay fortunes for. The kind of view my family bought with stolen money. Eleanor studies me. You look angry. I'm past angry, I say quietly. I just want it on record. Every receipt, every lie. She nods. Good. Anger burns fast. Truth lasts. I sit back the leather chair, swallowing the sound of my exhale. What now? Now we proceed legally, Maya says. We'll notify them once the suit is filed. Eleanor's lips twitch into something that isn't quite a smile. Marjorie always said she raised you to be practical. I'd say she succeeded, just not in the way she imagined. We lapse into silence. Outside, the ferry horn sounds across the lake, a low call that vibrates through the glass. For a moment, I wonder if my parents ever felt guilt, if the stolen money ever whispered in their sleep. Then I remember their laughter when I handed over my credit card last night. Probably not. I want the case filed under my name, I tell Maya. Not yours. Mine. She nods approvingly. Then we'll get started today. Eleanor reaches across the desk and takes my hand. Her skin is cool but steady. Rule of law, Tessa, she says. That's the American promise. They think love is control. We'll show them it's accountability. I look at her, at the woman who built an empire from nothing, who's giving me more than money. She's giving me a moral compass I didn't know I'd lost. They always told me to be grateful, I say. Maybe it's time they learn what gratitude really costs. A faint smile flickers across Eleanor's face. That's my girl. Her phone buzzes on the desk, vibrating against the wood. She ignores it, still watching me. Mine vibrates next. Unknown number. I almost don't answer, thinking it's a client or a spam call, but then I see the message. Just one line. You don't belong to us. You never did. Leave it alone, or we'll bury you. A pause, then a dash, and a single letter V. The morning light catches the phone screen. My reflection stares back at me, tired, hollow-eyed, and for the first time in my life, dangerous. By the third morning after the dinner, the story has left the dining room and entered the bloodstream of the internet. I wake to a dozen missed calls and a feed full of poison. Grant Harris disinherited for adopted sister. Source claims manipulation behind billionaire's shocking will. Then the headlines get sharper. Failed designer exploits dying grandmother, sugar baby or savvy opportunist. Someone even drags up an old photo from a college art show me beside a sculpture of a woman breaking out of a frame and captions it. She's been planning the con for years. My inbox bleeds red notifications. 2 clients pause their projects, citing brand sensitivity. Another cancels outright. My business, my one piece of independence, trembles under a weight it didn't earn. Every scroll feels like a small betrayal, people I know liking comments that call me calculating, cold, a gold digger in hipster clothes. By mid-afternoon, the reporters arrive. At first, they hover across the streetcars, idling cameras pointed toward my second-floor apartment window. Then they start knocking. Each question slices the same way. Did you manipulate Eleanor Brooks? Were you romantically involved with anyone tied to her company? Is it true you failed out of college? I want to shout that I graduated with honors, that my record is clean, that my biggest scandal before this week was a late tax filing. But truth is slower than rumor, and rumor is cheaper. When I finally step outside, it's Luke Bennett who keeps the crowd from pressing closer. He's in jeans and a gray sweatshirt, his firefighter ID lanyard hanging from his neck, coffee cup in hand. He doesn't posture or glare. He just plants himself on my walkway and tells the nearest reporter, property line ends here. She's not talking. Back up! His voice is calm, steady, the kind of tone that ends arguments without raising a decibel. When they hesitate, he lifts his phone. You're trespassing. Your call. The group retreats a few steps. Luke turns to me. You okay? I open my mouth to say no, but the word won't come out. He holds out a second coffee, black, no sugar, the way I always order it from the corner cafe. I don't remember ever telling him that. Thanks, I manage. Don't thank me, he says. Neighbors look out for each other. That's all. Then he nods toward the cameras. Let them tire themselves out. News cycles are short. He's right, but this one feels personal engineered. Someone's feeding it. By evening, the hashtags are trending. # Grant family scandal, # adopted heiress, # justice for Ronnie. A gossip site publishes exclusive sources claiming Eleanor groomed me, taught me how to mimic her speech, dress like her, manipulate her emotions for control of the estate. The language is clinical, vicious. One line stays lodged in my mind. Eleanor Brooks may have mistaken pity for legacy. I throw my phone onto the couch and pace the apartment until the floor creaks like it might give way. Every wall feels too close. The knock on the door startles me, but it's only Thomas Eleanor's driver carrying a small envelope. Miss Eleanor asked me to deliver this personally, he says. Inside is a short note in her elegant cursive. We don't hide from liars. We show them receipts. Press conference. Tomorrow. E. Below it, a postscript. Bring your courage. I stare at the words until they blur. When I reach her house that night, the mansion feels dimmer than before. The lights are lower, the air thick with antiseptic and lilies. Eleanor sits by the fireplace wrapped in a blanket, her skin paler, the lines around her mouth deeper, but her eyes still sharp. Sit, she says, and I do. They're tearing us apart online, I tell her. They're calling me things I can't repeat. Good, she replies, calm as a lake. Let them talk. Noise dies, evidence doesn't. We answer lies with receipts. I glance at the oxygen tube tracing her cheek. You shouldn't be planning press events right now. She waves me off. I built a company while nursing pneumonia in a trailer. I can handle one more crowd. Her attorney Maya steps in from the hall. I've already cleared statements with PR and legal. We'll release documents proving Eleanor's sound mind, the financial paper trail, the medical evaluations. She looks at me. But we'll need you to speak too. Directly. My stomach knots. Speak? Eleanor nods. They need to see your face, hear your voice. You're not the villain they've built. You're the builder. Show them. The room spins a little. I haven't spoken in front of more than a dozen people since college. The thought of a sea of cameras, strangers dissecting every word, every blink, terror blooms behind my ribs. I can't, I whisper. Yes, you can, Eleanor says firmly. They've stolen your story. Take it back. Her coughing fit cuts her words short. Thomas hurries in with water. Maya steadies her arm. I sit frozen as she gasps, regaining control. When she looks up again, her voice is thin but steady. Tomorrow, noon. Brooks Construction Headquarters. Press will be there. Don't memorize a speech. Just tell the truth. I nod because there's no other answer. That night, sleep doesn't come. My phone glows from the nightstand, pulsing with missed calls and notifications I refuse to open. Every time I close my eyes, I see those headlines scrolling across screens, my face, beside words that feel like accusations carved in stone. I practice in the dark anyway what I'll say, how I'll stand. I try to picture strength as something visible like armor, but all I see is fear. At 3 a.m., I text Luke. Sorry about the chaos earlier, thanks for the coffee. The reply comes instantly, as if he'd been awake too. Coffee's easy. Facing the world, that's the hard part. You'll do fine. I smile for the first time in days, small and shaky. The sun rises slow and red over the lake. I dress in black trousers and a plain white blouse, the kind of outfit that doesn't scream wealth or pity. When I check my reflection, I barely recognize the woman staring back, tired eyes, yes, but something steadier beneath them. Eleanor meets me in the foyer, already in a tailored navy suit. Her shoulders are drawn back, her cane gleaming like a scepter. You're ready, she says. I'm terrified. Good. Fear means you care enough to do it right. Maya hands me a folder. Just in case anyone tries to twist the narrative again, everything's documented. Eleanor gives me one last look, the kind that seals promises. Let's remind them who tells the truth in this family. We step toward the waiting car. I can hear reporters already shouting from beyond the gates, engines idling, microphones in the air. As I reach for the door handle, my phone buzzes again. Unknown number. I expect another alert from Maya, but the message freezes me cold. It's a photo, my apartment door, tonight's newspaper folded on the mat. Underneath it, a single line of text glows on the screen. We're closer than you think. The sender's tag at the end is only one letter V. By the third morning after the dinner, the story has left the dining room and entered the bloodstream of the internet. I wake to a dozen missed calls and a feed full of poison. Grant, heiress, disinherited for adopted sister. Source claims manipulation behind billionaire's shocking will. Then the headlines get sharper. Failed designer exploits dying grandmother. Sugar baby or savvy? Opportunist. Someone even drags up an old photo from a college art show me beside a sculpture of a woman breaking out of a frame and captions it. She's been planning the con for years. My inbox bleeds red notifications. 2 clients pause their projects citing brand sensitivity. Another cancels outright. My business, my one piece of independence, trembles under a weight it didn't earn. Every scroll feels like a small betrayal. People I know liking comments that call me calculating, cold a gold digger, and hipster clothes. By mid-afternoon, the reporters arrive. At first, they hover across the streetcars, idling cameras pointed toward my second-floor apartment window. Then they start knocking. Each question slices the same way. Did you manipulate Eleanor Brooks? Were you romantically involved with anyone tied to her company? Is it true you failed out of college? I want to shout that I graduated with honors, that my record is clean, that my biggest scandal before this week was a late tax filing. But truth is slower than rumor, and rumor is cheaper. When I finally step outside, it's Luke Bennett, who keeps the crowd from pressing closer. He's in jeans and a gray sweatshirt, his firefighter ID lanyard hanging from his neck, coffee cup in hand. He doesn't posture or glare. He just plants himself on my walkway and tells the nearest reporter property line ends here. She's not talking. Back up. His voice is calm, steady, the kind of tone that ends arguments without raising a decibel. When they hesitate, he lifts his phone. You're trespassing. Your call. The group retreats a few steps. Luke turns to me. You okay? I open my mouth to say no, but the word won't come out. He holds out a second coffee, black, no sugar, the way I always order it from the corner cafe. I don't remember ever telling him that. Thanks, I manage. Don't thank me, he says. Neighbors look out for each other, that's all. Then he nods toward the cameras. Let them tire themselves out. News cycles are short. He's right, but this one feels personal engineered. Someone's feeding it. By evening, the hashtags are trending. Grant family scandal. Hashtag adopted heiress. Hashtag justice for Ronnie. A gossip site publishes exclusive sources claiming Eleanor groomed. Me taught me how to mimic her speech, dress like her, manipulate her emotions for control of the estate. The language is clinical vicious. One line stays lodged in my mind. Eleanor Brooks may have mistaken pity for legacy. I throw my phone onto the couch and pace the apartment until the floor creaks like it might give way. Every wall feels too close. The knock on the door startles me, but it's only Thomas Eleanor's driver carrying a small envelope. Miss Eleanor asked me to deliver this personally, he says. Inside is a short note in her elegant cursive. We don't hide from liars. We show them receipts. Press conference. Tomorrow. E. Below it, a postscript. Bring your courage. I stare at the words until they blur. When I reach her house that night, the mansion feels dimmer than before. The lights are lower, the air thick with antiseptic and lilies. Eleanor sits by the fireplace wrapped in a blanket. Her skin paler, the lines around her mouth deeper, but her eyes still sharp. Sit, she says, and I do. They're tearing us apart online, I tell her. They're calling me things I can't repeat. Good, she replies, calm as a lake. Let them talk. Noise dies, evidence doesn't. We answer lies with receipts. I glance at the oxygen tube tracing her cheek. You shouldn't be planning press events right now. She waves me off. I built a company while nursing pneumonia in a trailer. I can handle one more crowd. Her attorney Maya steps in from the hall. I've already cleared statements with PR and legal. We'll release documents proving Eleanor's sound mind, the financial paper trail, the medical evaluations. She looks at me. But we'll need you to speak too, directly. My stomach knots. Speak, Eleanor nods. They need to see your face, hear your voice. You're not the villain they've built. You're the builder. Show them. The room spins a little. I haven't spoken in front of more than a dozen people since college. The thought of a sea of cameras, strangers dissecting every word, every blink terror blooms behind my ribs. I can't, I whisper. Yes, you can, Eleanor says firmly. They've stolen your story. Take it back. Her coughing fit cuts her words short. Thomas hurries in with water. Maya steadies her arm. I sit frozen as she gasps, regaining control. When she looks up again, her voice is thin but steady. Tomorrow, noon, Brooks Construction Headquarters. Press will be there. Don't memorize a speech. Just tell the truth. I nod because there's no other answer. That night, sleep doesn't come. My phone glows from the nightstand, pulsing with missed calls and notifications I refuse to open. Every time I close my eyes, I see those headlines scrolling across screens, my face beside words that feel like accusations carved in stone. I practice in the dark anyway, what I'll say, how I'll stand. I try to picture strength as something visible like armor, but all I see is fear. At 3 a.m., I text Luke. Sorry about the chaos earlier. Thanks for the coffee. The reply comes instantly as if he'd been awake too. Coffee's easy. Facing the world, that's the hard part. You'll do fine. I smile for the first time in days, small and shaky. The sun rises slow and red over the lake. I dress in black trousers and a plain white blouse, the kind of outfit that doesn't scream wealth or pity. When I check my reflection, I barely recognize the woman, staring back, tired eyes, yes, but something steadier beneath them. Eleanor meets me in the foyer, already in a tailored navy suit. Her shoulders are drawn back, her cane gleaming like a scepter. You're ready, she says. I'm terrified. Good. Fear means you care enough to do it right. Maya hands me a folder. Just in case anyone tries to twist the narrative again, everything's documented. Eleanor gives me one last look, the kind that seals promises. Let's remind them who tells the truth in this family. We step toward the waiting car. I can hear reporters already shouting from beyond the gate's engines, idling microphones in the air. As I reach for the door handle, my phone buzzes again. Unknown number. I expect another alert from Maya, but the message freezes me cold. It's a photo of my apartment door, tonight's newspaper, folded on the mat. Underneath it, a single line of text glows on the screen. We're closer than you think. The sender's tag at the end is only one letter, V. The courthouse smells like rain and coffee. Seattle's twin perfumes. Gray light seeps through the tall windows of King County Superior, tinting everything the color of old stone. Outside the plaza churns with bodies and signs. Justice for Ronnie on one side, Blood Isn't Family on the other. Reporters cluster under umbrellas like flocks of impatient birds. Inside it's quieter but no less tense. Eleanor sits beside me, wrapped in a tailored coat, oxygen tubing curling discreetly beneath the lapel. Maya leans forward at our table, files arranged like a soldier's arsenal. Across the aisle, my family looks brittle and furious, Marjorie clutching tissues she doesn't need. Kyle's jaw locked, Ronnie conspicuously absent. Their attorney, a sleek man named Robert Ennis, shuffles papers like a magician searching for the one card that might still work. All rise, the bailiff announces. Judge Morrison enters, her black robe swaying as she takes her seat. She's a woman in her 60s with a gaze sharp enough to cut glass. I like her instantly. Court is now in session for Brooks Estate v. Grant family, she says. We will hear opening arguments. Robert rises first. His voice is smooth, practiced, full of performance. Your Honor, my clients contend that Mrs. Brooks, while respected, was not of sound mind when she altered her will. The evidence will show she was suffering from terminal illness and undue influence exerted by the beneficiary, Ms. Tessa Marlowe Grant, who manipulated an elderly woman for financial gain. Every word lands like a slap. I stare straight ahead, hands clasped in my lap. Maya whispers, "Don't react, let him hang himself." Robert continues, "We all respect Mrs. Brooks's legacy, but this sudden change cutting out her own blood is irrational." Ms. Grant's involvement coincided suspiciously with Mrs. Brooks' diagnosis. We will show a pattern of opportunistic behavior. When he sits, the courtroom hums with murmurs. Maya stands smoothly, a current of calm cutting through the noise. Your Honor, she begins. The evidence will show that Mrs. Brooks was not only of sound mind, but also fully aware of her actions. We have medical evaluations from 3 independent physicians, all confirming cognitive stability. We have witness statements from colleagues, caretakers, and clergy affirming the same. This was not undue influence. This was overdue justice. She clicks a remote. The projector lights up with a timeline, medical clearances dated weeks before the will's signing meeting, notes, notarized documentation. Then she moves to the second slide: bank records from the Marlowe Trust, the money my adoptive parents drained dry. Here Maya says, pointer steady, $600,000 in funds for the child's care withdrawn within a year of adoption. No expenditures for education or welfare. Instead, cars, vacations, private tuition for biological children. The theft is well documented. Robert shifts, his smile cracking. Maya presses on. Finally, we have direct evidence refuting claims of manipulation. She gestures to the next clip on screen: Ronnie's face from the press conference, contorted with anger. We earned that money. We raised her. Her voice fills the courtroom. Every head turns. Maya lowers the volume, her tone precise. Your Honor, that statement alone invalidates their claim. They admit on record to profiting from Tessa's adoption. That is not love. That is exploitation. Judge Morrison's pen scratches across her pad, the only sound for several seconds. Finally, she looks up. Ms. Ennis. Anything to counter this? Robert stands again, sweating now. Your Honor, this clip taken out of context represents emotional distress, not confession. Families say things they don't mean. Except Maya cuts in, they signed for every dollar. Laughter ripples faintly through the gallery. The judge raps her gavel once. Order. She flips through the binder of evidence page by page, lips pursed. The silence stretches until even the air seems to hold its breath. At last, she speaks. The court has reviewed all documentation, including medical clearances, financial records, and video evidence. I find no credible proof of undue influence. The revised will stands as valid. Robert opens his mouth, but she raises a hand. Further, the pattern of misappropriation from the Marlowe Trust is clear. I am dismissing the contest with prejudice. Mrs. Brooks' estate will remain under the current terms. Additionally, restitution for misappropriated funds totaling $600,000 plus 22 years' interest is hereby ordered, approximately $1.9 million. I also recommend the district attorney review the matter for potential criminal charges. Gasps fill the courtroom. My heart hammers in my chest. It's over, just like that, decades of humiliation erased by a gavel's strike. Judge Morrison's eyes soften just slightly as she looks at Eleanor. Mrs. Brooks, you've corrected what should have been corrected long ago. Court adjourned. The sound of the gavel echoes like a clean break in stone. Then everything erupts: shouts, camera clicks, reporters spilling out to file stories. My mother collapses against Kyle, sobbing, though her tears look more like strategy. My own mother turned on me. She cries to the nearest microphone. She's sick. She doesn't know what she's doing. Kyle mutters traitor as I pass, but I don't stop. I've learned silence can be louder than any retort. The cameras follow us through the corridor, flashes strobing white across the gray marble walls. I keep my head high, hand on Eleanor's arm, shielding her from the chaos. Maya clears a path. No statements, she says firmly, her voice cutting through the crowd. Official press release at 5. We duck into a side room where the noise fades, replaced by the hum of an old air vent and the faint drip of rain outside. Eleanor sinks into a chair, breath shallow. I kneel beside her. You did it, I say. You won. She shakes her head slightly. No, Tess. We did it. And it was never about winning. Her hand finds mine, frail but certain. It's about truth. You don't hide it, you run it. You run it until it becomes something that helps people. I swallow hard. I will. She squeezes my fingers. Promise me you'll build the thing we both needed. A place for kids like you, like the little girl they tried to break. My chest tightens. I promise. Her lips curve into the smallest smile. Good. Then I can rest. The room is quiet except for the steady beep from the portable monitor by her chair. 1, 2, 3, then a pause longer than before. I glance at Maya, who's already reaching for her phone, mouthing for help. Eleanor's hand tightens once more, then slackens. Build it, she whispers. The monitor gives a soft, final tone. Outside, the rain starts again, tapping against the courthouse windows like applause from another world. Eleanor died at sunrise, the light spilling across the hospice window like a quiet benediction. She'd insisted on staying at home the lake, framed in her final view the oxygen machine humming softly beside her bed. When her breathing slowed to stillness, Thomas turned off the monitor and stepped back to give me space. Outside, the first ferry cut across Elliott Bay, its horn low and mournful like the city itself was bowing. The funeral came 3 days later, a small gathering at St. Mary's overlooking the water. No television crews, no glossy society pages, just the people who had built her world rather than inherited it. Trade workers from her earliest job sites, nurses who'd cared for her through chemo, the retired foreman who taught Spanish to new hires because he said dignity started with being understood. Even a barista from the cafe she'd gone to every morning for 20 years came eyes wet as he set a paper cup of her favorite coffee on the altar. There was no grand speech, no polished eulogy, just stories hand-scarred by labor voices, roughened by weather, speaking of a woman who never asked anyone to call her ma'am. When it was my turn, I could barely manage the words. "She didn't save me," I said. "She saw me." And then she made sure the world did too. The city felt quieter after that, the kind of quiet that asks for movement. The lawyers handled the estate transfer, and I did the one thing I knew she'd expect. I started building. The first step was the Eleanor Brooks Fund for Adopted and Foster Youth. Not a foundation for press releases or ribbon cuttings, but something with muscle legal help for guardianship disputes, housing stipends for kids aging out of care, therapy, vouchers and microgrants for trade school or small business startups. Maya joined the board. Thomas became operations director. Luke, when I asked him to be the community safety liaison, laughed and said, "I just pour concrete and put out fires," but he said yes anyway. We opened the first office in the old Brooks Construction Annex, high ceilings, raw beams, big windows facing the docks. On the wall hung Eleanor's favorite quote stenciled in black paint. "We rise by lifting those no one else sees." The company itself needed rebuilding too. I kept Brooks Construction alive but changed its bones. The executives who'd chased bonuses over people were gone. In their place came men and women who'd started in boots, not suits. We implemented fair wage apprenticeships, a mentorship ladder that let new hires learn trades while earning livable pay. Luke's firehouse helped pilot a home safety retrofit program, installing alarms, rewiring old buildings, ensuring no one's apartment became the next headline tragedy. We called it Safe Start, and within months neighboring cities asked for training materials. By summer, the noise around the scandal had faded into background chatter. The internet had found new villains, new hashtags. When journalists tried to frame me as the heiress who redeemed a corrupt family, I declined interviews. I wasn't anyone's redemption arc. I was an architect of consequence. And yet, the ripple of Eleanor's truth kept widening. Clients returned quietly at first, then steadily. They said they'd seen the news, watched what we built afterward, and realized values weren't slogans. They were blueprints. Brooks Construction's slogan changed too: fair work, solid ground. Sometimes I'd catch myself glancing at the photo on my desk, Eleanor in her 30s, hair tied back, hard hat, slightly crooked, standing beside a steel frame that would become a bridge. She told me once that the trick to engineering wasn't force. It was balance. Even strength has to bend a little, or it breaks, she'd said. I finally understood. Then one evening in late August, as the sun bled into the sound, the news broke. District Attorney files charges in Brooks estate case. The crawl at the bottom of the TV screen listed the names Marjorie and Paul Grant charged with misappropriation of trust funds, fraud, and perjury. Ronnie's name wasn't on the docket, but her face filled every broadcast: paparazzi photos, foreclosure filings, a headline about business collapse amid scandal. Kyle's investment firm issued a brief statement the same night. "We categorically distance ourselves from all personal financial dealings of the Grant family." The empire they'd built on entitlement finally buckled. I watched it all from the quiet of my office, the city glowing through the windows. My phone buzzed non-stop with messages. I didn't answer requests for comment strangers offering congratulations. A gossip reporter asking if I felt vindicated. Vindicated, no. It wasn't about that. The only text I saved was from Luke. "They're finally paying the bill, huh?" I typed back. "They wrote it. We just stopped letting it bounce." The next morning, I visited the construction yard. Workers in bright union tees were pouring concrete for a community housing project funded jointly by the Brooks Fund and the city. I walked the perimeter, watching apprentices measure and level hands, sure, voices, easy. These were the faces of what came after the people who'd benefit from Eleanor's fight, long after her name faded from headlines. That night, I sat on my porch overlooking the water, the same view she'd loved. The air smelled like cedar and salt. Somewhere down the block, Luke's fire engine rumbled back into its bay, and I thought of what he'd said once, that you can't undo a fire, you can only build better after it. Eleanor's promise echoed inside me. Run it, Tess. Not the money, the meaning. And I was. The Brooks Fund had already placed its first 5 housing stipends, all for kids aging out of foster care within King County. One of them, a 17-year-old named Diego, had texted me a photo of his new apartment, a twin bed against a blank wall captioned, "Feels like freedom." For the first time in years, I slept through the night. But peace never lasts long in families like mine. 2 weeks later, the news cycle shifted again, this time, footage of Marjorie leaving the courthouse in handcuffs, her sobs half drowned by cameras. "I just wanted what was fair," she kept repeating. Behind her, Kyle pushed through the crowd, face-tight suit, rumpled, snapping at reporters. "This is defamation. We'll appeal." I turned off the television. Outside, the wind rustled the maple trees. Somewhere across the bay, the lights of Langley's steakhouse glimmered faintly in the dark, the same place this had all begun. I imagined the table still standing there, polished and indifferent, waiting for another family to sit down and perform civility until it broke. But not mine. Not anymore. That night, I wrote Eleanor's name on a blank page under the heading Legacy Projects. Underneath, I listed every initiative we'd started: Legal Fund, Safe Start Program, Apprenticeship Ladder, and then drew one more line: Affordable Housing, Eleanor House, a place where no one would ever be told to find another table. By morning, I had blueprints spread across my desk and an architect's number dialed in. The rain began again, light and steady, tapping the windows in rhythm with the heartbeat of a city learning finally how to build something that lasted. Outside, dawn glowed faint pink over the bay. I whispered into the quiet, promise kept. And for the first time since that night at Langley's, I believed it. And just like that, Tessa finally closed the chapter that began at a dinner table and ended with a legacy built on her own terms. If this story moved you, hit subscribe for more tales of justice, reckoning, and redemption. Share your thoughts. Below, we read every comment, and your voices shape what we tell next. Thank you for listening. This has been a story from Radiance. We'll see you next time.